An NBA insider has come out and dropped a ridiculous report as it pertains to Austin Reaves and his future in LA that changes everything going forward for this Lakers team. I'm going to break down exactly what that is and discuss what this means going forward as Rob Pelinka prepares for something massive. So stay tuned for all that in this episode, as well as a couple other Lakers updates surrounding targets ahead of the draft lottery tonight that the Lakers aren't necessarily going to be involved in, but are on the outside looking in and are planning something big as the offseason continues to unfold here. So a ton to go over today, folks. Before we get into it, you guys are an absolute beast. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, but 90% of you who are watching right now aren't subscribed to the channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys. You guys are beasts. Ladies and gentlemen, a ton to go over today. Lakers are in a very interesting spot right now because draft lotteries tonight. Obviously, the Lakers aren't going to jump into the first pick or anything like that. They are not going to be involved in it whatsoever. However, what they are going to be involved in is trades this offseason. And a new report from an insider has come out and dropped a ridiculous report on the future of Austin Reaves, and it is a very interesting one and a very interesting talking point as well. And I'm very curious to see what your guys' thoughts are, but I'm going to drop this right here. Bill Simmons says that Austin Reaves will get traded in the offseason. Does he know something that we don't? And the full quote is as follows. When Reaves gets traded this summer, and he will get traded, the stuff the Lakers get back for him is going to make it seem worse than the Mavericks didn't get him in the trade. So what Bill Simmons is implying here, at least it seems like he's implying, is that the Lakers are going to get a lot back for Austin Reaves, but also the biggest piece of info here is that they're going to trade Austin Reaves. Now, we haven't heard that from, the Lakers side. We certainly haven't heard that from Shams or anything like that. However, Bill Simmons, he's tapped in a little bit. He's not the most notable reporter or anything like that. He was on a podcast speaking about it, and he is very confident and very convinced himself that the Lakers are going to trade Austin Reaves away. And if you've been watching and been a follower on this channel for a while, I've been heavily advocating, not necessarily for the Lakers to trade Austin Reaves, but for the Lakers to entertain trading Austin Reaves, simply because I'm not entirely convinced with his fit alongside Luka Doncic. And we're going to dive into that and what packages look like and all these different things. But I'm very curious, A, what are your guys' thoughts on this? And B, do you think he's going to get traded? And do you think that Bill Simmons has sources regarding this, or do you think he's kind of just speculating here? I think it's a pretty informed guess. And again, we've heard rumblings about them trying to extend Austin Reaves. We've heard rumblings about them trying to trade Austin Reaves. It's been from one spectrum to the other here. But regardless of that, Austin Reaves is coming off of his best season as a professional, a huge jump from 16 points a game to 20 points a game. He should have been in the most improved player conversation. And following a disastrous season, postseason for Austin Reaves, and by disastrous, I don't mean he had a completely terrible, postseason. It wasn't great, but it wasn't a great postseason run for the Lakers in general. And obviously, Luka Doncic coming in, fans were expecting and hoping they make a final push, but wasn't realistic. Probably not with this group of players. They need to go out and make a move for a center, but they also, like I've been covering in previous videos, need to go out and make a move for a 3-and-D wing. And that's where I think trading Austin Reaves, whether it be for a center and then you use your Dalton, Knecht, and other assets for a wing, or vice versa, could really come into the cards here. And it's why I ultimately think Austin Reaves is an extremely, likely piece to get traded here. And I might be in the minority in saying that. I just think the longer this offseason goes, the higher the chance is that he actually does get moved this offseason. Just by the way that he has improved, his value is at least an all-time high up until this point in his career. I think it makes a ton of sense. And we think back to his press conference there, Rob Pelinka's following the season, when he said that he's expecting a lot of player movement in the NBA this offseason. He's obviously talking about not just the Lakers, but across the NBA. And if you remember back to the press conference, he was talking about how trades are probably going to happen from the Lakers side. They need to address their center position. But the Lakers have a lot more holes than just a center. Obviously, getting a center should help propel them, and definitely out of the first round, all these different things. They got exposed by a Timberwolves team, which now in hindsight probably was a pretty bad matchup for a centerless Lakers team. However, Austin Reaves, and again, it's also unfair to judge Austin Reaves solely based on that one series against the Timberwolves because they had a lot of long defenders. They matched up great against Austin Reaves. The Lakers need to go out and actually make some big splashes. Now, whether that be in the form of trading Austin Reaves, whether it be in the form of trading maybe even a guy like Hachimura, but most likely the Mark Williams package, which was Dalton, Knecht, 2031 first, and maybe some swaps they can throw in there. If they want to solve both of their problems, their two glaring holes, which is the center position and a 3-and-D wing, then you're going to need to probably give up Austin Reaves, or if you really want to make a push for that, or you hope for some masterclass improvement on defense by Austin Reaves. And you're seeing a bunch of articles now drop surrounding this. And this was one article, clamoring for an Austin Reaves trade. The numbers, of course, he averaged 25 and 5 in the playoffs against the Timberwolves. He was pretty, ineffective. While some advocate for trading Reaves, others may argue that he offers unique offensive capabilities and potential growth that he shouldn't be overlooked. His backstory as an undrafted player adds value to the franchise beyond just on-court performance. And of course, they're mainly talking about Austin Reaves' facilitation. He's gotten way better as a passer and an overall player in general. But you have to. And you can see this here in the bottom. General Manager Rob Pelinka may explore trade options that involve Reaves to acquire a dominant center. And I mean, it's true, whether it be a center or a wing. But there's also been reports coming out that the Lakers are hoping to extend Austin Reaves to a 4-year, $89 million extension, but he's expected to decline and test free agency in 2026. With a $42.5 million year price tag and a rough playoffs, LA may explore trades this summer. Reaves is far from untouchable. So you have a bunch of different reports here saying that, hey, the Lakers could look to trade Austin Reaves if he decides to not extend. And I'm still not entirely sold on the Lakers extending Austin Reaves. Like, is it the best time to extend him? You could argue, like in theory, yes, because he's coming off the best season of his career, lock him up before he gets better. But there's also the flip side of it of, hey, maybe he has a down year next year alongside Luka, or maybe they don't like the fit alongside Luka. Or two things can be true here. You can like the fit alongside Luka, but also prefer other fits, and he has a ton of value. Another article here by Bill Plastrike, he said, I love him and you love him, but it's time. Austin Reaves is the Lakers' breath of fresh air, sharp shooting from all the drama and all these different things, using all these different words, basically saying he doesn't carry a ton of drama, which is a stirring journey following his undraftedness. But it's time. If the Lakers are going to get where they need to get, they'll have to get there without Austin Reaves. If the Lakers truly value the acquisition of a big man, they're going to have to get rid of the little fella. So it's interesting, and that's kind of where most people are going towards this, is you trade Reaves for a center, and then maybe you go out and you sign a 3-and-D wing. And Nickeil Alexander was on the radar for a while. He was really bad in the playoffs, so I don't think that's necessarily a fantastic option. But there's so many articles here. And we know in his exit interview, Rob Pelinka made it clear he saw what everyone else saw when Rudy Gobert suddenly became Wilt Chamberlain. It would be great to have a center that was a vertical threat, a lob threat, and someone that could protect the interior defensively. I think those would be the keys. But there are multiple types of centers that can be very effective in this league. There's also spread centers that can protect the rim. We'll look at those as well. So I wouldn't limit the archetype, but we know we need a big man. He's made it very clear what they want to do, and whether that's via trade, whether that's via free agency, trading for a center is the most likely option. Now, whether or not other teams, like there's a real world here where Rob Pelinka says, hey, Luka and Rob Pelinka decided on a center and they're going to do everything they can to get him. And if they don't want to package that team that they're looking to acquire the center from, let's say it's Jaren Jackson Jr. or Walker Kessler or something crazy like that, they're saying, hey, we need Austin Reaves back in the package. We're not going to accept Dalton, Knecht, and firsts. You have to seriously consider making that move then, because if you do not, you might be stuck with a center that Luka Doncic might necessarily not want as much. So it's going to be very interesting. The Lakers at the end of the day are going to try to please Luka Doncic. That's what this all comes down to. And there's guys like John Collins out there who have been heavily linked to the Lakers in the past. A player like that could work. At the end of the day, I think they might be better off using their assets elsewhere. It has nothing to do with Austin Reaves, and I might be on the minority saying this, but I can see a real world where Austin Reaves is on the way out. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. I know a lot of you guys are on the side. I see you guys in the comments saying don't trade Reaves. Some of you guys are saying trade Reaves. Let me know what side you're on. Cheers.